Okay, so it has now disappeared. I'm wondering if we are now live.
What's disappeared?
The on OBS. Oh shit, that doesn't show something.
No, it doesn't say we're live at the moment.
That's good because I'm still having these problems with getting the chat going.
Oh, we are now live.
Oh crap.
I just got a notification,
Yeah.
but it's not popped up. Oh, yes, we are live. There we go.
We're on.
I think so.
Do you want to, because we haven't advertised it yet, do you want to just put a thing up in the chat just to see if the chat window is working?
Let me just get the link. I'm just refreshing. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's that. So, you want me to
just
do the fucking games thing?
just
What do you want me to do? Sorry?
test in the chat, just test or something like that. I just want to make sure it comes up on this screen because we had it wrong. I had the wrong one up last time. I want to make sure it's right before we actually...
Oh, there we go. Carl is on. Hello, Carl.
Hello? I can't see.
Old conspiracy Carl is in the building.
Well, that's awesome, but I'm still trying to work out in my chat. I reckon there's a conspiracy about getting this chat room up and running.
See,
hang on. Maybe...
So you hit, obviously you've hit the three dots and done to pop out chat, yes?
Yeah. I've got it showing on here, but have you typed into it yet?
Yeah, I haven't. So has Carl.
Well, what am
That's how new Carl was here.
Well, thank you, Carl, but I haven't actually put the link up yet, so you're doing well to come in.
He would have got notification on the YouTube, like I did.
Oh, so you've obviously subscribed, so you're a good boy. Good boy.
Carl is doing great.
I'm just trying to work out how to get the chat window up again.
President accounted for, he says.
Hang on, I might have to do it a different way.
So here's a question for you, Carl.
YouTube.
Now, if there is no oxygen in space, how does the sun burn as a burning ball of gas if it has no oxygen to feed from? That has been my question of the day.
Channel.
Do you want me to put a post up saying we're live?
Not yet. I'm trying to work out where this chat window is disappearing to.
As a burning ball of gas if it has no oxygen to feed from. Oh, there we go. I can hear it playing. That has been my question of the day.
If I can mute that channel.
Do you want me to put a post up saying we're live?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm trying to work out where this
I can hear feedback
chat window
through
is
something
disappearing to.
As a burning ball of gas if it has no oxygen to feed from. Oh, there we go. I can hear it playing.
No, I'm trying.
That has been my question of the day.
This is getting weird. If I can mute that.
Yeah, I don't know. All I can hear is myself and you talking. Do you want me to put a post up saying we're live?
There you go. Is that good?
Yes, I hope so.
Shouldn't be any feedback now. So I've just gotta. Why can't I pop it out?
Because we're on camera and you get in trouble.
Trust me to open my mouth and say that. Just give me two, three more minutes to get this sorted.
No, but like, this is what I was saying before, Gary. Like, I didn't say what we were talking about, but this is what we're talking about at work now. It first started off as a simple, what is oxygen, what's air? And then, it got to the whole chat, oxygen's the element, and with air, you've got oxygen, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, all the other things to do with it.
Yeah. Okay, you can put the post up, the link up now if you want. We're good.
And then came the whole thing of, well, what's the sun? And then it became more of questioning things and asking questions and the rest that comes with that.
Carl's gone farts galactic.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. So, Sorry, I'm trying to do things at once. So, with that came a whole heap of extra talk about asking if, believe in space travel, time travel, aliens,
Yep.
Extraterrestrials and the rest to go with it. And he had said, no, he doesn't believe there's aliens. He believes there's other life forms out there. I said, well, I don't mean aliens as in the green things. More extraterrestrials.
You do realise I haven't even put the podcast starting soon stuff up yet.
That's all right. It's not a podcast. We're live streaming.
Yeah, I know that, but usually I put the little titles and everything up.
That's all right. Carl. Carl's here.
Carl's here and James has just popped in.
G'day, James.
All right, I'm going to have to adjust that up just a tittle so I can see when people come in. There we go. How are you, James? I'm trying to work out. James sent me a thing today saying about how you can reduce the latency in YouTube. I said, well, I've got it set to ultra low latency because we're only streaming in 1080.
All right, put the post up. So, so he's like, the aliens. Doesn't believe there's aliens, believes there's other life forms out there. So, well, what would you call that? He goes, I don't know. All right, that's cool. And then it got into the whole, from aliens, it got to the whole conspiracy theories, which Carl loves.
We had a bit of a talk about that last night.
Oh, we did, but we kind of need Carl to jump in on that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, it's all theories, rah, nothing's been proven. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. And I'm going to give you our link when we're done. Sorry, I'm not on family issues. Hey, look. That's right, man. We hope everything is all good. Like I messaged you, I said, if you need anything, let us know.
Yeah, and just let everybody know we're thinking about them as well, mate.
I can be to you fairly quickly on a bike without breaking laws.
It might not be his bike, but...
Hey, my bike's running. What do you mean?
Is
it's
it?
Not going to fall apart. Well, it hasn't fallen apart since.
Oh, God.
Hey, at least it doesn't leak oil.
We have... Well, mine doesn't. We have some stories about your bike and the 50-50 bet as to whether it will all make it to the destination in one piece.
Hey, it made it there. And we are going well, James.
Yes, we are doing well. We're just waiting for a few more people to come in before we get right into it. But
so what has happened with my bike? I've had the linkage from my rear brake come loose and fall off.
Yeah, bits fall off.
And what else?
Sticky tape.
The air filter. No, it wasn't the air filter. It was my indicator. No?
Air filter or indicator? I don't keep tab.
There's only two things anyway. It's the only two that's happened.
I said it. What I'll do? Has somebody shared the link up yet?
I've put that up. Cheers, Jeremy. You'll be breaking the biggest road law of all. Is that being a menace? I am on live stream here on a public platform. I don't break laws.
Yeah, so you have to be careful what you type and what you say. Language is everything. We don't want to get kicked off the platform before we even get really started.
Unless you're Carl. Carl can do what he wants.
Yeah, within reason. We still need to talk to him about his little segment and stuff like that, and how we're going to move forward with that.
Carl does what he wants because Carl's a bad mother.
See, my buttons aren't working properly. I mean, the best I can do is...
Hello, how are you? I can do that, that's about it.
Unless you want me to talk like this. No?
Carl just showed you the big old hot dog. That just sounds really bad, me saying that.
I don't know. If you like hot dogs, right? If you ever go to Adelaide, you've got to go to Harndorf. And there's a place in Harndorf which do the best hot dogs. We have the photos to prove it.
Look, it's way off topic to what we normally talk about. This live stream is just going to happen how it happens. Is a hot dog a sandwich or a burger?
It's its own separate entity.
Or is it a sandwich?
Well, Carl, is there a conspiracy theory on this?
Well, technically, it is
He's our
meat
conspiracy
in between-
expert.
In between bread.
Yeah, but so's a steak sandwich.
See, it's a sandwich.
A
Exactly.
steak sandwich, yeah. And a burger is still. I don't know. When you
The
watch
burger is still a sandwich.
Oh, don't start. Bloody hell.
Carl's just saying, well.
No.
I like him too much. I like him too much to tell them. Carl,
Yeah, go
you're
on.
in shape. Round is a shape.
It is.
Well, no, circle is a shape, but it sounded alright.
Anyway, whatever. Should we do a little title sequence and then just come into it from there? Like it's an official start to it all? Because we've been talking a bit of rubbish up until now.
Sure.
All right, here we go. All right, we've officially started now, so welcome to the Shadow Files live stream. And as you can see in the chat, we're talking hot dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, what a way to
Carl.
start. What a way to start. It's all Carl's fault again.
Oh, look. If Carl wasn't here, what would we do? Well, there's other people to talk to, but, you know, Carl is Carl.
Yes, yes. We actually recorded a couple of shows this week, which will be coming out in the near future. So you'll see the new format for our recorded shows and new thumbnails and all of that kind of thing, because we're trying to increase our subscribers. So if you're joining us now and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because some people have, and they actually they got the notification that we'd gone live, and they jumped in while we were still talking rubbish and trying to get everything set up. So that's how good it is. So if you want to join in, that's what you need to do.
So, what did we figure out what time or what days we'll be now releasing episodes?
Yeah, we will be releasing our regular recorded shows at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday. I know it's a very particular time, but I've done all the research and I don't know. They reckon that's the best time to do it. So the recorded shows will be going live on a Tuesday, 5 p.m. Perth time. So that's, if you look at Eastern American time, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. So apparently it will load up on their on all of their reels and everything, so they can see it bright and early, and hopefully we can get a few extra people watching. So that's the thinking behind it, but we'll see how it works. And then obviously our live shows on a Friday night at 9 o'clock Perth time.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have us twice a week now.
Twice a week? Ooh.
Yeah.
So
you
what is going on?
you were talking about some stuff about that you were chatting away with at work today. So do you want to sort of jump into that?
Continue on that continuation of that. Yeah, got into the whole chat of aliens and spacecrafts and all the good things that have been talked about recently for the US government, the media outlets, and whatever else not. And he was trying to swear black and blue that there is no documents that have been released to the world that there is spacecraft or little grey man.
Does he not watch the TV? Does he not watch the internet?
Well, one would hope so. So then I said to him, look, do yourself a favour, look at Skinwalker Ranch. It'll give you some understanding. They get scientists out, you know, they have a team investigating on that property, trying to figure out what's going on. Because it's not explainable.
No. And for anybody who's interested, we will be having Brandon Fugel, the owner of Skinwalker Ranch, coming on the show at some time in the near future. He was supposed to have recorded with us already, but due to issues, because he's a very successful and very busy businessman, we've had to put it back. So we're just waiting on his say-so, and then we'll be recording a show to bring forward.
A sausage roll. It's not a hot dog, it's a sausage roll. Well, actually,
It's a
you're not
savage,
wrong in that
savage
aspect.
roll is what he said.
I'm guessing he might have meant sausage.
It depends on what you put in it as to how savage it gets.
It's those sausage fingers.
Anyway, get back
No.
on what we're talking about. We're not going to have a whole show on sausage rolls
It's not, it's a hot dog.
at this point. Oh, God.
So then I'd actually directed him to talk about look into Skinwalker Ranch and find some of the documentation that's just been talked about in Congress. Now, as I mentioned Skinwalker Ranch, he goes, "Oh, I don't like skinwalkers. They're like those dog things that stand on their back legs and walk around." At which point I said, "No, it's a show of a ranch called Skinwalker Ranch."
Yeah.
And I just walked off. I was like, you know, I'm not having a conversation with someone thinking that it's a dog walking on its back legs. Yeah.
Yeah, there are all sorts out there, all sorts of people out there, and you just got to humour them. I mean, luckily for me, where I work, we've got a couple of people that are really keen on it, and they actually listening into our podcast and when they're at work. And one of the girls there, she says, "Oh, I can't listen to all of them because they get really creepy." I think she was talking about like urban legends and things like that, which we have discussed in the past. And I thought to myself, we're doing something right if we can give people the creeps over the just audio, because obviously at work you can't watch the video, so she's just listening in. And to get the creeps while you're in a workplace environment, that's pretty cool.
Either that or she just realised that she's listening to two people that don't know what they're doing just yet.
We are learning, but I mean, we've got a lot of experience in the paranormal research and things like that, but podcasting is a very new thing for us both.
It's a whole new thing for us completely.
Yeah. So, but I have my little man cave with all the nice pretty colours, which I'm really happy with, so I hope you all like that.
That really probably shouldn't go into a sentence together. I have a man cave with pretty lights.
Well, so long as oh God, no, it's going to go really bad if I keep going where I was going to go. So I'll just stop that right now.
Fugle would be a great guest, Carl. I'm actually quite excited. I know Gary's probably a little bit more excited than what I am. Yeah, Gary. Look, Gary went fanboy over Graham Phillips.
Yeah, Graham Phillips was awesome, and then it ended up taking about 2 years to get him on.
And then I could just imagine that Fugle was going to get fanboyed as well. That's not a bad thing.
Oh, look, there are so many people that, like I said, I've reached out to them over the last year or so, and they've all said they're interested, but when it comes down to actually locking people down, it's pretty hard, especially for the people that are on TV and stuff like that, because they have network commitments, they have TV shows and things like that. That was my computer. Because all the audio goes through the computer, I can't get rid of the computer sounds. Right. So it was just one of those Adobe Creative Suite things popping up.
Please renew your subscription.
Yeah. But yes, Carl, I can't wait to have Brandon Fugle on, and I'm hoping that with a bit of chatting with him, we can get Travis on and a few of the other guys. And
that's what I mean. Once you have the likes of Graham Phillips and then Fugle, you can kind of gain some sort of traction, and people are like, all right, well, they've had these people on.
Yeah.
Maybe it's worth our time.
Well, like I said the other week, we've got Ben Hansen. He said he's going to come on, but he's the one that actually told me that all this stuff was going to hit Congress. Remember, I put it up there saying I've got a good authority. Well, that came directly from Ben, and he's going to come on, but he's waiting until he gets the go-ahead from his network, because he said while he can record an interview with us, the issue is, he goes, if I do it for you, I've got to do it for everybody else that asks as well. So he said, exactly. I'm being right across the board. Nobody gets it until the go-ahead happens, and then we can all get our interviews in.
Yeah, that's look, you got to work it fair, and you got to understand that these people are busy. They have hundreds of people message them trying to get in on these things.
Yeah,
and you can't play favourites, because then you look like an absolute ass.
Yeah, and that's exactly where he's coming from. So I totally understand that. Plus, He's just had another baby, so there's a lot of family stuff happening as well.
Everyone's having babies.
Tell me about it. My, I think next weekend it's my son's and his partner's reveal, so we're going to find out what the sex is. So that's going to be interesting.
Nice.
Yes.
It's gonna look. I'm hedging my bets to girl.
I know Josh wants a girl, but obviously he's happy with either, and his girlfriend wants a boy. So one of them's going to be. Well, they're both going to be absolutely over the moon, you know, and they're going to be good parents.
I don't know. A lot of people are having girls lately, and
Oh, so you just go with the numbers.
no, just this time of year. For some reason, a lot of people are having girls.
Okay. Carl, is there a conspiracy around that?
It could be the chemtrails.
I saw a thing about that today.
Really? It popped up.
This.
You know what it was, Gary?
Well,
It was those drone birds watching you as you're getting your way to work.
yeah. No, it wasn't that. No. Because Bob is rolling up again in the news feeds and everything. So
Bob L.
Yep.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Bobble.
there's another one that was released about him about 4 days ago.
Hemp's not a conspiracy. Hemp has been proven. What? Carl's sitting in his chair, looking at your face.
I am
and he's got a belly laugh going on.
I am starting to second guess this whole live chat thing. Oh wow, yeah. But yeah, there's a new thing up about Bob Lazar, and again they've started the whole thing about questioning his credentials and this, that, and the other. And
Hang on a second. Why would you question the poor guy's credentials when he's been right the whole time, and now they're releasing stuff, and he's like, told you so.
well,
And people still want
well, here's a conspiracy for you, Carl. Right? If Bob Lazar was talking crap right at the start, and they did their thing, why are they still harassing him 25, 30 years later? You know, once he was out of the line, because he doesn't go chasing interviews and things like that. He's very private and sticks to himself. He's never made a dime out of any of these interviews or anything to do with with him being a whistleblower and stuff like that. So he has got literally nothing to gain by it. And the fact that once it sort of hushed down that first time, you would think that would have been the end of it if it was a load of crap. But the fact that they're still going him, 2 decades later, then I think there's something behind it, And then if you actually, again, talking about the all the interviews in Congress and things like that, if you listen to the way things are worded, it's what's not said and how things are phrased are more important than what they are talking about sometimes.
And James, to answer your question, it's the Illuminati.
They're called reptilians. You've got to get it right, mate. Not lizard
Reptilians.
people. I actually queued up.
Eye.
I actually queued up on my phone, which I will play a bit later on. I don't know if any of you guys have heard the John Lear test. Now, I know you've heard it, and I think Jay's heard it. When
No, James wouldn't have
no,
heard
I don't think James has heard it yet. Now, you all obviously know John Lear because Learjets, that's where he came from. So it's big digs. And he was good friends with Art Bell. So Art Bell's a legend in this kind of genre, radio and stuff like that. He's one of the best. And he did this interview, and they were talking about some of the when presidents or people say they're going to expose and they're going to tell the world what's being covered up. He runs through this scenario, which is now called the John Lear test, and it's basically what would be put to a president before they decide. And at the end of it, they turn around and say, so will you now go public with everything? Because we're not going to just do part of it. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it all.
Yeah.
And that's why they reckon a lot of presidents who have said they're going to release all the files and everything, and then suddenly it doesn't happen. But, you know, I'll play it a bit later on. It goes for about 10 minutes. It's only audio, so you're still going to have to put up with our ugly mugs on the screen, but you'll be able to hear what's going on. And it's really quite interesting because what they've said, some of it's been proven to be definitely true, but they don't know about some of the facts. So it's interesting to work out what the actual real thing is.
No, I do remember sitting at yours listening to the Lear test. I know the Illuminati, couldn't remember the reptilian. There's a people, so I have to do. Yeah, well, look, that works. I'm surprised the Freemasons hadn't been brought up.
Well, they reckon that the Freemasons are the... Well,
no,
it's...
Gary, was it us last night talking about the presidents of the United States and what they do and don't know? Was that with you I was talking to that about?
Yeah, we did talk about it.
Yeah.
About
that's
the
what Carl
fact
just said.
yeah.
POTUS don't know bugger all.
No,
Yeah,
because what they're saying is the office of the President of the United States is only a part-time job. Not a part-time job, but it's a temporary job. They can do a max of 8 years. You know, they can only do 2 terms, then they're out.
Oh.
So it's a revolving door of different people going in, and they don't want the news getting out to everybody. So they keep the president in the dark for plausible deniability, as well as keeping their security intact. But then it takes all the power about disclosure right out of the president's hand.
I just had a complete brain fart reading Jason's messages, and now it's actually just clicked what he's talking about. So it's saying it's the climate temperature that determines the sex of the babies.
Well, that's
Like with the crocodiles.
it's not always that, but that is, they say, is part of it.
Look, yeah. I hope he has a girl. Look, nonetheless, it's a healthy baby. It doesn't bother me, but a little girl's going to keep him on his toes.
Yeah. Yes. Black Ops. Yeah.
It was a good game.
In fact, when you're talking about no, not the Men in Black, Black Ops. When you're talking about Black Ops, the part of the just John Lear test goes into why they reckon one of the reasons for the Vietnam War was, and why this happened and why that happened, because it's all about diverting funds into their black budget and things like that.
Well, no, the Vietnam War happened because the people that created the drones for the birds went in there and disappeared with the Viet Cong because they were in Area 51 and they saw too much.
You know what the scary thing you talk about the drones and everything is at the moment.
Carl's probably rubbing his little hands together like, yes, we have them.
There are videos out there. They now have drones that can target a specific voice or a specific tell, so they know it's a certain person, and they basically dive bomb you, and they've actually got a single round built into them, so as soon as they actually hit, the round goes off, and that's scary. And they've got like swarm type birds, you know. Yeah, but it wasn't that long ago, so this is all in the last couple of years.
And then the ice gun as well.
Yeah. Then the bullet melts,
which
and then
which has been proven to be true.
Yeah.
A heart attack gun.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should be writing these down so we could actually go into more detail on them in episodes and things.
Look, Carl's probably got a notepad the size of my computer tower of things written down, probably with newspaper clippings as well. No offense, Carl. I just like to make a laugh of everything. It's crazy. Did you end up checking out that video that I sent you with the Bernstein Bears book?
No, I haven't done that yet. I haven't had a chance. Literally, after we finished recording, I went to bed, and then I was up at 5 o'clock this morning to go to work, and then.
How dare you go to bed?
I know it puts quite a cramp in your day, actually, because you go to bed and then you and here's a conspiracy for you. As soon as you put your head down to go to sleep, you're waking up again, and you got to go to work. What's happening as soon as you sleep? Does time go forward?
There you go. I told you, Carl's iPad's full. Well, that's the thing. If you remember how you went to sleep, and if you didn't, you passed out, I suppose.
I literally Yeah, James was talking about the railgun. Yeah, I've heard about that. So, yeah, as soon as I hit the pillow, man, I'm out. And quite often, when I recline the chair watching TV, there's so many times I've had to watch an episode 4 or 5 times, and Lynn's like, "Oh, here we go," because I keep falling asleep through them.
James, do you mean railguns as a conspiracy, or railguns have been made? Because I'm pretty sure there's been research and everything else into them.
No, they're talking about the electromagnetic one, the one that fires out.
That's
It's almost like a.
That's what I know a railgun to be.
It's like an EMP almost.
Because I know in 2022 they were looking at turfing the research into it.
Yeah, they say that.
That's what I mean. Like you'll type into Google, do they exist? And it says railguns are the most technologically advanced methods of lobbing heavy projectiles over great distances. The US Navy recently mothballed its research into the technology. Well, they've already got the technology because railguns are already here.
Yep. It's just a matter of how far advanced they actually are.
I reckon they're far more advanced than what they say.
Well, it is. I mean, I remember when I got my first night vision scope, and it was like first gen was available to the public, and this one's just short of second gen, the one that I had. I've still got it there somewhere. And I actually bought it from a place that sells a lot of military type stuff. And they said, no matter what, you can guarantee that the military are at least 5 generations ahead of anything that's available to the public.
Well, it does also say, you know, the US Navy have spent 15 years and approximately $500 million developing a railgun for destroyers. And they just, we'll just give up on the idea in 2021.
And I'm pretty sure they spent a lot more than that. I'm thinking you talking
that's
billions,
just
maybe.
numbers that have been thrown up.
I mean, you look how much a bloody stealth fighter costs, and then think about how much they put into the research into that, and with railguns and things like that. It might cost 500 million to produce one, but I can guarantee you it's 100 times that what it's cost to develop it.
I don't think Josh needs a shotgun. There's plenty of other people that do stuff if something happened. But 15 years, $500 million developing a railgun, and you stop. Well, the only reason you'd give up on the idea is if one, it's physically implausible, which is not, or they've completed it and they've got what they wanted.
Yep.
And Carl, with your alien technology still to be exposed, yes, 100%. That's exactly what we were talking about last night.
And the other thing that as well, you're talking about alien technology to be exposed. How do you know that so much of what we have in everyday life hasn't come from alien technology, but because it was put out by us? You would never know. I mean, Velcro, they reckon that came from bloody Roswell, and certain other things, but everybody knows them to be man-made things. But where do they get the ideas from? And the computer chip, because you got to remember, up until the 1940s, everything was so mechanical, but pretty much after Roswell, the electronic revolution started. And you've got to say that some of these crashes, not just Roswell, there are other crashes as well. And if you believe some of the theories, there are actual things. Why are we talking about cocaine?
No, he was saying about the woman was he must be a fair bit behind where he's at on the stream. Okay. When we're talking about Vietnam and the drones.
Right. Yeah. So I just lost completely where I was with that.
About the crashes and not just.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. There's a lot more than what people know about, and then you got to take it into account. Is it all to do with?
What, Carl? Sorry, that was left of field, Carl. It's yes, edible underwear. Are they hot dog flavored?
That is just. Why did you go there when he's talking about edible underwear, and then you go to hot dogs?
Well, that's what Carl brought up to start with, was hot dogs. It's Carl's fault. Actually, and James, to do with your electromagnetic railguns, you can actually buy them. There was a US startup called Arc Flash Labs, and for $3,750 US, you can have a handheld electric railgun, and it's officially available for pre-order. Alien flavored underwear.
No, I think we want to talk about aliens now. Get off hot dogs.
Oh, aliens.
and-
Oh, we can talk to aliens. We can talk about aliens all
We
you
can
want.
talk to aliens if they want to talk back, yeah. That's another thing that Carl's interested in, actually, is the CE5 stuff. You know, we did a CE5 session just towards the end of summer. We'll run a couple more of them because I'm pretty sure there's a few people out there who are interested in that kind of thing, as well as some other things that we will be endeavouring to do as well.
I think there's going to be a lot more trouble than what they're saying with this whole railgun stuff. Thank you, James. Now I'm going down a wormhole. Japan is looking at partnering with the US to make railguns.
We're not supposed to be talking military stuff.
I'm not. It's just he brought up railguns, and I like guns.
Anyway, does everybody want to hear the John Lear test just to try and get us back on track?
Well, it just says shadow files.
Eh?
We got eight viewers. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Well, that's doing all right. All right, what I'll do, I'll play the John Lear test now so you can hear what we're talking about, because I'm pretty sure this will fire up a bit more conversation. So is everybody ready? Here we go. Oh, my phone's just gone.
Oh.
True, making your judgment based on that, okay?
Right.
All right, in that case then, here it comes, the infamous Lear test. So, okay.
Can you hear that all right?
say the government
Yep.
chose me. They were going to use me as an outlet to release this information. Let's just say they did that and they took me to a briefing. Then what, John?
Okay, we whisk you to, or they whisk you to Washington, D.C. You get limoed to this building, beautiful building. You go up into this room. They say, Art, you're the guy. If you give us the go-ahead, we're going to release everything we know to the public. And if you decide to go ahead, all major networks will be provided with information on all aspects of the cover-up. No type of information will be withheld because of the deal for immunity for all participants of the cover-up provides that nothing, no artifact, no piece of information be withheld. So here's what happened, Art. And of course, this we'll use some videos and stills. Our first UFO recoveries are in the late 30s. We made a couple in the beginning of the 40s, and then came Roswell, which the public found out about. We got 2 live aliens from Roswell. One died shortly thereafter. One lived until 1956. And we found out that so far there are 18 different alien species that we know about monitoring Earth. Some are good, some are hostile. Most are indifferent. We found out that we are the experiment or product, if you will, of an alien race who we never met and really don't know who they are. All we know is that the Greys are cybernetic organisms, glorified robots, if you will, who work here at the behest of their employers, monitoring us through abductions. We were never able to find out what the experiment is all about, except that we have been externally corrected about 65 times, and they, the aliens, refer to us as containers. There has been speculation that the souls our bodies contains is the reason for the experiment, but nothing has been proven or determined. Since 1938, we have lost over 200 aircraft to UFO hostilities and thousands of soldiers in all kinds of different kinds of action with aliens. Since that time, several 100,000 civilians have disappeared with no trace. Several thousand were eliminated by us because of their chance encounters with aliens, which we could ill afford to have publicized. A slightly more frightening phenomenon known as human mutilations have occurred on a regular basis and are similar to the cattle mutilations in that the humans are taken from the street, so to speak, and returned to the same area about 45 minutes to an hour later, with their rectums cored out, their genitals removed, their eyes removed from their sockets, and completely drained of blood. In all cases, it appears that the mutilation procedures occurred while the persons were still alive and conscious. One of our scientists speculated that apparently the human specimens had to be alive for the samples to be worth anything. Abductions occur on a daily basis throughout the United States to at least 10% of the population. And when we first became aware of this, we protested to the little gray being that we held in the captivity at the YY-2 facility at Los Alamos, but a deal was struck that in exchange for advanced technology from the aliens, we would allow them to abduct a very small number of persons, and we would be periodically given a list of those persons abducted. We got something less than the technology we bargained for and found that the abductions exceeded by a millionfold what we had naively agreed to. In 1954, President Eisenhower met with a representative of another alien species at Muroc Test Center, which is now called Edwards Air Force Base. This alien suggested that they could help us get rid of the Greys, but Eisenhower turned down their offer because they offered no technology. At this point, it became apparent to all involved that there was no such thing as a God, at least as the public perceives God. Certainly some kind of computer recorder stores information, and an occasional miracle is displayed by the aliens to influence a religious event. So this so unnerved Eisenhower that he had In God We Trust put on paper money and coins and put into the Pledge of Allegiance to reaffirm the public belief in God. Shortly after this, it was determined at meetings between the U.S. and Russians that the situation was serious enough that a Cold War should be manufactured as a ruse to divert attention of the public away from UFOs and towards some other scary threat, the H-bomb.
Wow.
It was also decided to keep the ruse secret from any elected or appointed official within both the U.S. and Russian government, as long as it took so long to vet these officials, and the ruse was easier to manage if the top people didn't know about it. In the late 1950s, NASA was formed to compartmentalize, containerize, and sanitize information from all space platforms and vehicles. We sold NASA to the public, claiming that all information would belong to them. Actually, they got very little, and even that was highly sanitized. Our first efforts were to keep the public from learning about Venus, and that it's a similar planet to Earth, and that its population is very similar to us, but more technologically advanced. We have learned a lot from them. Starting with the Russian Venera 1 and U.S. Mariner 2, we made Venus look like a lead-melting volcanic surface spewing sulfuric acid into a pressurized atmosphere 90 times that of Earth. And was often the case we overdid it and wondered why no one ever asked how a parachute survived a descent into 800-degree air. We set up operations in Pine Gap, Australia to preclude any prying eyes trying to figure out what we were up to. We regularly eliminated, through extreme prejudice, anybody who was part of the operation and made the least little tiny threat about disclosure or satisfaction with the operation. Any space mission that included Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, Mariner, Voyager, Clementine, and all the rest, all data initially came transmitted to Pine Gap, and then it was relayed to JPL or wherever after the sanitizing. We had a little trouble with amateur radio operators, but we figured out when they figured out how they could intercept these signals, but we managed to deal with that. When the Russian threat began to fade, we introduced Vietnam, which kept the public occupied for over 10 years. The cover-up and the personnel to run the operation began to get bigger and bigger and required more and more money. We were enforced to inflate the defense budget, which soon was not enough. Then we got into the drug business, which was still not enough. We were the ones that looted the savings and loan industry and Wall Street to boot. It is so out of control now, most people want immunity and want out. But there is so much secrecy and so many double and triple blinds in place that it is unlikely that this thing can ever be dismantled. And even if you give us the go-ahead to spill the beans to the public, it's unlikely they will get anything more than, yes, we recovered a flying saucer, and yes, there was an occupant, but that's all we're going to tell you. So go ahead and roll the tape for Mr. Bell. What you see here are the human mutilations look like. That one was a male about 27 years old. Now that film is of dead aliens being pulled from the wreckage of their craft that crashed in Alantra, California in the 50s. That craft you see over there was over 250 feet in diameter and had to be buried on the spot. That site is in Utah near Dugway Proving Grounds. The object that you're looking at now is the Kecksburg Acorn, which was brought to Wright Pat in the middle 60s. There's Frank Drake trying to force information out of a being tied down to that stretcher. He was supposedly from Tau Ceti. These pictures you're looking at now are the structures on the moon. That's the tower in Sinus Medai. It's over 7 miles tall. And that thing there is what we call the Colossus of Agurum in Mare Crisium. We don't know what it does, but the machine itself is bigger than Brooklyn, New York. Now, those are videos of the domes covering the craters. You can see that some are in a very advanced state of decay. Now, these are 5-second slides of the 18 different alien species we are looking at. That one there is the most gruesome looking. The guards at one facility are carefully indoctrinated over a period of several months, being shown pictures similar to, but not exactly like the alien. Only when they have been acclimatized, so to speak, of the horrible-looking beings are they allowed to stand in security positions. Before these acclimatations were done, we had 2 guards die of a heart attack as these aliens came down the hallway unexpectedly. And this last clip is of the Kennedy assassination. You've heard of the second gunman theory. Well, this is the second camera that recorded exactly what happened. We had 4 gunmen. And the bottom line was Kennedy had to go. He insisted on releasing what little alien information we had told him about, and he was trying to withdraw troops from Vietnam, which we were using as a diversion for the public. After the Kennedy, we never told any president anything. Nixon knew because he was briefed as VP in 1952. That's how he knew where to take Jackie Gleason to Homestead Air Force Base to see the alien bodies we had storage there. And that's about it. What say you, Art Bell? Do we brief the public?
So there you go.
Yes.
There are so
I would
many
love
things.
to see the video that goes along with that.
It wasn't. It was a radio program.
But he was showing slides. I mean, as in, I'd love to see the slides that were showing.
What he's talking about. What I found interesting is what they said was one of the UFOs that crashed was 200 and something feet in diameter and was that big that they had to bury it on site, on location, and that was in Utah. Well, what else is in Utah?
And from aerial photos, you can see big round circles in the place.
You can, and also that they're talking about how, especially if you watch this latest season of, but they've. Oh man, that's just shut me right up, hasn't it? Yeah, it's worth watching because that was very specific to what you will find out.
Did you watch the interviews that John Lear did with, I think it was 8 News?
I've seen a lot of them, but
about saying aliens are here and they're not our friends. I'm pretty sure it's old. It looks 70s, 80s. Could be early 90s.
But again, going into that, they go into, well, about the drug trade, how they were trying to make money out of that, using Roswell, using Vietnam as a diversion, and all these different things. There are so many little conspiracies within that one tape. You know what I mean? So there you go. Carl's head's probably spinning now, thinking, "Okay, I'm gonna have to play this back so I can write all of these things down to look into."
That's, I mean, I've been looking for that snippet of audio for a long time, and I still haven't been able to find it.
What's that?
That interview just then.
See, I was lucky enough to actually download it back then. It's probably been pulled now because what different sources have actually corroborated that some of the parts that are in there are actually true. Which parts they're talking about, I don't know. But
I think there's more than just a couple bits that are true.
Yes, but again, they're not saying what's what. You know, one of the things about all this stuff to do with Congress and everything, where they talk about national security.
Carl, I'll tell you what. I will post you a pen, so you don't have to keep sharpening the pencil. What if the wheel, when it was first created, was actually a crude depiction of a UAP? I wouldn't say that was a conspiracy.
No, I think more likely it was a Viking shield, and then when somebody got knocked off, it went rolling down the street, and it went, ah.
Well, weren't they using?
They were around long before that, but
what I was gonna say, yeah,
long before that.
You just wanted to bring up Vikings.
Well, you know, like Eric von Daniken, his famous book, The Chariots of the Gods. You know, back in olden days, they didn't have the term UFO or flying saucer or anything like that. What they had was, like the kings and the fair, whatever, they would be in chariots. And then to see something in the sky, well, that's where the gods thing, and then they see these things, so they became the chariots, which is what the kings were in, of the gods. And it's a literal translation to UFO, flying saucer, something in the sky flying.
See, Gary, you talking about that, looking up and pointing, all I can picture is the plane.
I'm not that bloody short. I know I'm short, but I'm not that short.
You don't have that much hair either.
No, sadly not.
So, And then you got John Lear talking to, I think it was Knapp about UFOs as well.
Yep.
In '87. You know, that's, and now you look after the whole Congress and the hearings in Congress on UFOs.
If you actually look, if you watch those videos about Congress, right behind the guys, you will see Jeremy Corbell, and about 2 people across from him is George Knapp, sat right behind them.
You know, it just makes Lear sound a lot more credible than what he actually was.
Yeah, and they painted him out to be a crackpot, which is what they do for so many people. You know,
Wasn't it originally a base for strippers, Poland? Yeah, it was the base.
What are we talking about now?
Carl, I'm guessing he's talking about the shield or the wheel. Wasn't it originally a base for the strippers pole in Plesio period?
That's a show I would not have wanted to go and see.
Yeah, but they're like, yeah, James, they're just, they call the government a wet blanket for a reason, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's ridiculous what they have going on. So, and you know, and Australia was brought up in that when they started talking about Pine Gap as well. Now, Lynn's actually driven through Pine Gap, and no offense to anybody who might be listening from Pine Gap, but she said it was the weirdest place because for miles and miles before it, all living things that got, like, you don't even hear birds or insects and everything. It's just dead as you go through. And then she said, when you see the people that are in there, she goes, well, the way it came across to me was it's like you're driving through where that film Deliverance was shot, except it's all desert instead, and you just wind the windows up, lock the doors, and keep going. So,
Even if you hit something.
eh?
Even if you hit something, keep going.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting that, and again, I actually heard, and I don't know how much credibility there is to this, but when Area 51 really became mainstream and everybody was trying to sneak a peek at what was going on, and S4 when Bob Lazar came out, which is still nobody's actually been able to find S4 as far as I'm aware. Rumours say that the Roswell wreckage, or at least part of it, was shipped over to Australia into Pine Gap because it's just so far away from everything, and nobody gives it a second thought.
No, well, why would you?
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
So you know how we were talking about with the Soviets, or the Russians, and the whole UFO
Yep.
kit and caboodle we're talking about? Now they reckon that there's newly declassified intelligence documents that reveal how CIA officials saw 2 flying disc UFOs in the Soviet Union during the Cold War.
But they saw a lot more than that.
Yeah, but they also saying that it's actually sealed inside JFK's folders.
Again, it's conspiracy on conspiracy. It's
It is. But they've got paperwork. I don't know how they would have got it if they supposedly not sealed side of his folders, because they've got literal copies of paperwork with the Caspian Sea and everything else, like maps of areas of the sites. Save that one.
No, that's it. So anyway, I'll throw it out there now. How many people have we got watching?
We have 6 watching.
Oh, we've lost a couple of. Oh, that Jay be one of them because he's just he's just said he had to go because he's at the hospital and stuff.
Reese, how are we, Reese?
Hey, there you go, Reese. If you haven't subscribed yet, do you want to subscribe to us on YouTube?
That is one person that I would like to have pop in and say hello.
We have spoken, Reese. We have spoken, and Reese has said he would like to, so we'll have to arrange that.
Carl, well, you could kind of call it the Aussie Area 51. It's a satellite tracking station southwest of Alice Springs.
On the surface.
Yes, on the surface. It's not hidden.
No.
And now it's being used as the important overseas US, the most important overseas US intelligence facility.
There's all sorts going on. Ah, you're a legend, Reese. You're a legend.
What do they do at Pine Gap? One of Pine Gap's primary functions locate radio signals from eastern hemispheres with the collect information fed to US drone program.
But the other thing you
So
got,
whether we like it or not, we're a Commonwealth. We're still being watched by Uncle Sam.
well, you've got to remember as well, though, Australia's played a massive part in communications and stuff way back because the Parkes radio telescope was involved in the moon landing. And sorry, Carl, just to get you going again. But even back then, so it makes perfect sense because of all the clear skies that we have that they set something up over here. And, we've got something up north of WA as well, which is, I can't remember what they call that one. Ross Coulthart went out there and tried to get some stuff going. And there's been a lot of, funnily enough, a lot of UFO activity near the US base in the northern part of WA. So it's
apparently on Netflix there was a series about Pine Gap.
Yeah, not a factual type thing. It's a drama type thing.
I haven't watched it. I'm just looking up.
I think we got about halfway through the first episode and we went, yeah, nah.
Because it says here, Pine Gap was removed from the content streaming service of Netflix in Vietnam by order of the country's authority of broadcasting electronic information because a map with a 9-dash line was shown in 2 episodes of the series.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It would be good to see a live podcast while on a hunt.
Well, you need to look on our page. We've done it, mate. We've already got some live streams from when we were out on location out at York.
I
And
think
Albany.
you probably meant maybe more like this.
We
not
did
sure.
we did talk about it when we were at York. We did get permission to do a live stream like this, live on location. But the problem is getting everything set up, and we had a very limited time. So we just did some live streams as we were walking through, and we just got straight into it. We also did a theatre.
Right.
We did a local theatre as well. So
Doing-
we're getting more interactive, aren't we?
It's good being interactive. I think doing a sit-down sort of live stream podcast-y sort of idea like this, yes, it's a great idea in one sense, but I also, not that I'm saying no, I wouldn't do it, but that would take a lot of concentration off of what we're there for to start with.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a lot to set up for one of these. I mean,
There is, and guaranteed how our torches run.
Also to fill him in, as you know, I've already bought the 4 microphones to bring, and I've got the Rodecaster Pro system set up, so we can take that with us. We can take the microphones, and I've got all the leads and everything, so the audio is going to sound pretty much the same as this. I'll be taking the camera that I'm using, so we'll get some good. Well, we can actually record 4K on that camera, but we're only streaming at 1080 at the moment. So we are setting up for that kind of thing, but it has to be a place where we have plenty of time so we can, like maybe next time we go down to Albany, we did the live recording last time.
Albany would work,
but we got sidetracked because of all the stuff that was going on down there with the people being attacked and everything. So it is possible.
Sorry.
No, go on.
When I was saying about the 9-dash on the map, that 9-dash lines on the map, I didn't quite understand what it meant.
Yeah, I don't.
I've just had a further look into it, and it says that the 6-part show depicts. 2 episodes of the 6-part show depicts China's unilaterally declared 9-dash line, and is displayed within the context of maritime claims in the region.
Oh, they're talking about territories and stuff.
Yeah, so Vietnam didn't like it. They're like, screw you, we're not having it on our Netflix.
Oh, gosh.
Vietnam communist?
I don't think so. So, no. But yeah, look, guys.
Socialist Republic with a one-party system, so yes.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
CPV.
If you guys have got any other ideas on what you want us to talk about, be it in the live stream or if you want us to do stories on anything specifically, let us know in the comments and we'll endeavour to get it all sorted. So, and like I said, for anybody who's come in since the start of the show, we do these every Friday night now, the live show, so they're more interactive, as you can see. And then we still release our other shows on a Tuesday afternoon.
Reese has just asked, would we consider doing a doco sort of full-length investigation film?
Yes.
I think the closest thing that we've gotten to that was the end of season 1 that we did.
Yes, when we did the Smirks Cottage.
Yes.
So if you go back through our channel, you'll see one there called Smirks Cottage. That's probably the closest to what we did, what you're talking about now. But yeah, I definitely think that would be. In fact, we have talked about it, doing something like that. It's just a matter of.
We have for a long time. It's just been a matter of finding the time between work lives and everything else in between.
And finding a suitable location that's going to be conducive to several visits and spending a lot of time there, you know. But yes, definitely. So,
James, have you got anything that you, or Carl, have you got anything that you guys would like to see from us? Try for us, for us to try and do or accommodate for.
You know what? I'm just looking back through the chat from what I can see, and we're talking about conspiracy theories and everything. And there are so many messages that have been retracted. It's almost...
I know that's what I said to Carl earlier. Like, what are you? How are you, Mark?
Hey, you're coming in right at the end. I don't know if you were here through the start of it all, but we'll be gone in a few minutes.
It's only 49 minutes. I'm sure we can go for an extra 15, 20 minutes.
We're at just over an hour. Yeah, I'm at work at 5 o'clock. So
it sucks for you.
It does. But, the money's good.
Carl has had lots of redacted ones, and I asked him what was it, and he's like, I'm behaving.
Well, conspiracy, Carl, I would expect nothing less than plenty of redacted. I'm saying redacted, not retracted.
Is it them that is it the person that has retracted the message, or is it your system flagging messages and taking them off?
Carl, did you remove them yourself? And James, did you remove these messages yourself, or was it taken down by somebody else?
I'm gonna pop to bed, but I'll look in the forward. And go for it, reset. That is completely cool. And Mark, what sort of local history? What sort of local history are you referring to? As in, I don't know, paranormal activity. I was here, missed the start. That's all right.
It's all right. It was just the usual stuff at the start, trying to get everything working, so you didn't miss anything really.
Yeah, is it stuff to do with like haunted places or I don't know?
Okay, Carl redacted them.
Rejuvenated them.
Yeah. Sorry, I like saying redacted more than retracted. So.
Really, James? James, I'm guessing that flagged that comment and removed it.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, cemeteries. Okay. All right.
Oh, we were only up in York a couple of weeks ago, but the cemetery that we went to wasn't much going on there. But yes, that is something we're going to talk about. We will talk about some of those. In fact, we might actually start taking the camera out when we go on some of these locations and get some footage, and we'll include them in some of our future podcasting and live streams as well. So, yeah, there's lots of possibilities.
And as for James's retracted message,
you're doing it now.
I think it was censorship on YouTube's behalf because he said do a nude show.
Who said that?
James did.
You're a sick man, James. You are a sick man.
I know who would want to see me naked.
Bing. Yeah. Blinded. No. That is one way to get our subscribers just bail. No. Not a hope in hell. I jiggle too much.
Oh, that's just an image I did not want. No.
No, well, we've hit the stupid hour now at the last little bit. No. We can say whatever we want. James removed his as well because he spelt something wrong.
Spelt what wrong?
Something, apparently. How can you spell the word something wrong?
Something Wong.
Yes,
What?
that's the fun part at the start of watching you go off on tangents. Well, it's not
We always go off
our
on
show unless we
tangents.
go off on tangents, and you know everybody comes on the ride with us, and the conversation keeps going, and we're very influenced people. You know, we go with the flow.
Oh, we are very, very, very easily impressed
Yeah, and influenced.
and influenced to sway certain topics.
Yeah, but
Really, Carl, a brown eye.
not
Childish.
happening. No,
I'm laughing. I'm trying not to laugh, but it didn't work.
no. We didn't bring any live callers in this week.
No, we haven't. Do we have time for one? And who would it be?
Does anybody want to call in with a quick one?
Wow, Carl's got his brown eye out.
Oh God! And behave, watch your language and things like that. Because the last thing we need is brown eyes and language. Because we'll wipe out just about every code of ethics on the and code of conduct on
apparently
YouTube.
It's only the first so many minutes before any swears happen.
Yeah, that's what I
It's
heard
the
as well.
first it's the first so many minutes, and then you're all good. I don't know how that works. That's like going to the pub and saying, for the first 5 minutes, you can be in here and get paid, but you can't have a beer.
I don't know what's going on with James at the moment.
It wasn't what I remember. James,
We don't want to
Go
know
to-
what you removed, mate. We do not want to know.
James, go to drunk your bed.
No, I don't think we're going to get anybody calling in tonight, so we might have to call it in a minute.
Problem. Carl's probably trying to find his phone.
If I get
It's
a
in your
chance,
hands.
if I get a chance, Carl, I will call you through the week or message you through the week, and we will arrange for you to get your little segment sorted. And maybe next Friday night we might have you on to do your first conspiracies with Carl.
I think that will actually work quite well.
It'll be good.
Because realistically, if you do it that way, if we do it in a certain way, you get 15 conspiracy theories. That's 15 episodes.
You're limited to one, one per episode, and probably 10 minutes maybe to go through it. Because then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Wait. I've got someone that wants to call in. I don't know. Actually, he's got a ghost story from when he was working in a pub. It's a mate of mine.
Can he call through to you? I don't know if it'll come through on yours. It
It won't come through on mine. It'll only come through on your messenger.
Do you want to get him to give me a call?
I will send him a message now.
Yeah, get him to give me a call.
I'm sure if he's listening, he's actually listening in. So I'm sure I'll have to. Hang on, if I add a group chat with you and him.
Yeah, but you'll get pulled into it as well.
I can leave.
Okay.
And then you can talk about me all you'd like. I don't even know how to do it. I might have to use my phone. I'm trying to be as quick as possible.
All he's got to do is look me up on YouTube. Not YouTube, on
How does it
Facebook,
work?
and just Facebook Messenger. You know how you got the little call button at the top of Facebook Messenger? Just give me a call on that.
Okay, well, hang on. I don't know why I do these little noises to go with it. It just sounds like it makes it sound like I'm doing something.
And I reckon next week as well, we talk about ghost stories again as well. So if anybody wants to...
Oh, that's me
That
messaging the group.
Yeah.
So once he sees that message, see if I just go here. Actually, I'm on silent anyway, so it doesn't matter. If it comes through, it comes through. I'm just won't answer the call.
All right.
There we go. Yeah. So this guy that's calling in is a good mate of mine. He was working pubs as a doorman.
Yeah.
For years, and he's had some pretty good ones.
It'd be interesting.
He is interesting.
He's seen it now, so we'll see if it happens.
Yeah, well, just give us a call on that chat.
Yeah, the little phone icon up at the top If you give that a ring.
How many tangents is he allowed? Who allowed? Me? Carl? Gary?
It's a very
Tangents.
That's a very
if
mathematical question. That not cool
What
for a
is-
Friday night. There's pressure involved
What?
in that.
What is a tangent?
I don't think your mate's wanting to call. I think he's too frightened to push the button.
Well, he is listening as well, so he can hear us. I'm fairly sure.
I don't know what the delay is.
I think it's maybe about 10 seconds, if that.
It should be less than what it was because I changed the latency setting.
A straight line or plane that touches a curve or curved surface at a point, but if extended, it does not cross that point. That is a tangent.
Yeah, we know what a tangent is. Oh no! Now we're getting into maths class. I fell asleep through that.
It said he tried calling, got no answer.
No, I haven't had any calls come through.
Hang on. If I start a group call like that, and then maybe James might pick up.
Here we go.
That's me.
Hello.
So you're going to be talking to yourself. Hang on. Wait,
Immensely.
there he is.
You're gonna have to mute yourself out of it.
Yeah, I'm muted. Have I not?
Hello.
Hello. We can hear you.
There we are.
There we go.
All right. So, my name is James, not the one commenting.
No, we know who that James is.
All right, cool. All right. So, I'll start with the pub.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyway, I worked at a pub that was like. So I worked and live in a steel town. So that was like literally right directly across the road from the steelworks.
Yep.
And this pub had been around for fucking yonks. Oh, ooh, I swore, sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
This pub had been around for yonks. And so it has a rich history to it. It's a pretty old building. And upstairs was the owner of the pub. So he would always like check the cameras from upstairs because he's totally not a creep. And would call on me for things like, you know, this is going on over here, whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But then at some point I get a call and he's like, the time's like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
I'm closed at like 3. And he's like, hey, I'm hearing bumping noises upstairs. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. It's probably like some junkies or something that have like gotten a room, right? Just a pretty common thing.
Do you want to keep your closer to the thing? You keep breaking up. Your audio
Yeah,
cuts out a little bit.
that's all right. Sorry.
There, that's good. There.
So there we go. Anyway, where did you hear me from?
Yeah, no, we got the gist of where you're going, but we'd
Right,
lose words
yeah.
here and there.
Yep. Cool. All right. So anyway, upstairs I go suss it out, and he's like kind of standing right up like the stairs.
Yep.
Like, okay, what's happening, bro? And he's like, just check down there. I've just heard all this banging. Like, okay, cool. So we go for a walk down this like hallway, and like upstairs is like old, and decrepit. It's terrible. And we see like a figure, and he's like standing at the end of this hallway.
Yep.
And I've obviously gone up. I'm like, hey. So I've chased down the hallway, and he's walked into it. He's like run into a room.
Yep.
But we've gone up to the door, and the door's closed. So we're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Door's locked. We unlock we unlocked the door. Like, obviously, we didn't hear a door open or close. Gone into the room. There's nothing in there. I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, typical security shifts. I did a double that day.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get much sleep. Am I seeing things? I've turned around and I've seen the owner of this pub pale. And like the room was like ridiculously cold. And I've turned around and I'm just like, all right, you deal with this. Oh, I'm done. I'm going downstairs. I'm like, I don't deal with this.
Yep.
I'll deal with anything, but I'm not dealing with ghosts. I'm not dealing with angry junk spirits from 50 years ago.
That sounds very
it's-
yeah. That sounds very reminiscent of a time years ago. Now this is back when the the Treasury Building in Perth. That
I'm not too familiar with it.
it's like 4 or 5 stories high, and there's a couple of levels underground. It's all been redeveloped and everything now, but we had access to it on a number of occasions to investigate. And what they would do is, we didn't have the keys left with us, but I was shown how to arm the alarm when we left. So I had to roll up at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon for him to let me in. And then from 3 o'clock through till about 7:30, when everybody else started rolling up, I was in this building, which is a quarter of a city block, all by myself, by the 4 floors and then a couple of floors down. And like what you were saying, I saw this person running down the hallway, so I went chasing them because there wasn't supposed to be anybody in there. And the same thing, they ran into a room and I heard this massive smash. Something fell. And I ran into that room ready to, go them. And there wasn't anybody there.
That's mad.
And I don't even know what made this big crash. I was expecting to see like a pallet or something like that down on the ground, and there was nothing in there. And what we've been told after that is that where that room is, there used to be an entrance into a tunnel that would go down towards the Supreme Court. And it's all been long blocked off. But yeah, so it just sort of rang with me when you said that. So I've experienced something very similar.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I noted like with that pub that there'd been like a few things like that have happened upstairs, like murders, a couple of just dead bodies rocking up. Well, not they didn't rock up dead, but
that's a whole other TV show. That one.
To be honest, with that place, it wouldn't surprise me. But
It's kind of reminding me of
that
the
was-
hotel.
pardon?
It's reminding me of one of the hotels we have here.
Mm.
This is very, they say it's very haunted, one of the most haunted pubs in WA. And I've been out there 2-3 a.m. in the morning fixing windows after a call out and see things that aren't there. And yeah,
Jeez, I've got more. I just can't remember them.
Well,
I've blocked out a lot of it. It's
well, think about them, write them down, and then we do this. We do this every Friday night, and we're hoping to open the lines up to more and more people, and eventually it'll almost become like a bloody talk show where it's one person after another. Because if that's how it works, then we don't have to prepare much. We just rock up.
yeah, exactly. You just got to answer the questions of the people.
Well, when you do a show like this, inevitably, when somebody tells a story like what you've just told, and then if somebody else tells a different story, it leads the conversation into all different directions, which is what usually what happens with us anyway. But it's an actual legitimate reason for it doing that now. So
That's right. Yeah.
we want to get more people in because there's not that many shows like this in WA where people can chat, especially about local stuff. And that's what we want. We want people to ring in with local stories because a lot of people want to hear about that stuff.
Perth, but Australia.
Yeah. And not just obviously local stuff, but personal things. If you've experienced something, even if you've been away and stuff, I've experienced stuff in the UK, ghost stuff, UFO stuff, Singapore, and around, around the place. And they're very interesting, especially when there's that personal touch to them. And
Yeah, that's it.
and then obviously, like what you're saying, something local. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, got to keep it good. And look, and if you do have a conspiracy of some sort that you want to talk about, Carl is your man.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you go for now.
Yeah,
Thank you for
too
that one.
sweet. Cheers, gentlemen.
Thanks for calling in, mate. Take it easy.
Not a drama. Take care.
See ya.
See you, boys.
So, yeah.
So yeah, we want more like that, nice local stories and things. What he was saying though, I've experienced literally the very same thing, and it's just, I took you on that Christmas walk we did when we did the Christmas walk through the city.
Was that the same one that you were doing dancing with a certain group of people and they got angry at you?
Yes.
I remember that one. Actually, do you know what? No, and the time before we actually did it as well, they got angry with you.
Well, it's happened a lot more than that. I'm pretty much. If you lifted if they separated their little orange gowns, there's probably a shirt with my face on with a big red line through it saying "Stay away from him" because he joins in. Just lucky I didn't have a tambourine with me. So,
you know what? I'm doing it.
What are you doing? You're not.
I am.
You haven't.
What? I haven't what?
I'm just stressed. You go, yeah, you're doing it, and I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, I'm doing it. I'm buying you a Hare Krishna outfit.
Oh no,
the orange one.
Well, yeah, you're not Hare Krishna if you're not wearing orange. You know.
Well, no, they got orange, purples, reds, blues.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't waste your money.
But we could have you dressed up as a Hare Krishna.
I'd look like bloody Buddha walking down the street with me bloody pajamas on. I've got the belly. People will come up and start rubbing me. That sounded wrong.
Well, we could have you going around and Halloween as a Hare Krishna. You get to dance people's doorsteps. Yeah, now it's not funny.
No, it's not. No, it's bordering on scary and psychotic now.
No.
Anyway, I think we are going to have to call it tonight because I've got a buffet.
The Knicks. That was who you were just speaking with.
Oh, right.
Is that because they wear orange? Yes, I think it is. Alrighty.
All right, I think we'll call it tonight. And like I said, next Tuesday, our next show will be coming out, and then you will see us again next Friday. So put us down in your diary. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. We want to see that number rise a little. We want to see it get to 100 if we can.
Oh, look, that'd be look.
And if we can get to 100, next goal, 100,000. Just a little step, but
Jesus Christ Almighty.
We might have to put a couple of extra shows out for that one.
I'm happy with just an extra follower.
Look, if we can keep adding a couple each week, that's all. I'm happy with that. You know, we're not in it for any other reason than to get it out there and chat with you guys and have you guys chat back and talk about some topics. So, thank you.
Yes.
I don't know if my sound effects work. Hang on. I don't think they do.
See, we say we're going to leave it. Everyone starts chatting again.
Yeah. Are you guys doing a conspiracy to keep us on air?
I think they might be.
Something weird just happened. Then I saw some little floaty thing happen. So
that was in the... No, I'm not even going to say that.
Oh, no, it's getting to that cheesy time of the night. It is time to go now. All right. Until next week, guys. Take it easy.